time for the Straight Up Wrestling Show.
What's up, everybody? It's HBT with the Straight Up Wrestling Show. Guys, here to live. Come talk about some wrestling. Late night wrestling, guys. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And we're going to do this for maybe 20, 30 minutes at the most. But, guys, I am live, ready to kick this off. If you can't hear me, definitely let me know because I'm right now, I was having a little trouble with my computer, so with my laptop. So if you don't hear me, let me know. But, hey, guys, we about to roll on with this thing, man. We had a good weekend yesterday. Christopher Burton and myself went out to an independent wrestling show. It was a great wrestling show. AWL happened in Pickens, South Carolina yesterday. Doors opened at 6 o'clock. It happened at 7 o'clock, and it was a great show, guys. It was a great show. But, man, first off, I want to start off and talk about a few things that's happening here, man, right here in the upstate of South Carolina, Western North Carolina. There's some beef going on, man. There's some beef going on. And a friend of ours, a podcaster, man, talking about quitting and everything because of the beef that he's having with a certain promotion. And guys, man, I all I have to say is, look, man, I wish he wouldn't let all that stuff bother him or bring him down. Yeah, it's people are going to get offended. That's the age that we're in, guys. People are going to get offended. So, man, if you're a podcaster, say what you want to say and stand on it, man. Stand on your business and keep moving. Don't let anybody take you down. It doesn't matter what's going on or whatever is happening in life because we all have different opinions, but people today seem to, man, have a hard time digesting your opinion of certain things that they may do or whatever. But that's what we do as podcasters, man. We will criticize or we will say something that we don't like about wrestling. And this guy said something about another wrestling promotion, just about their presentation as far as on a poster. And the guy got mad at him and came back at him, and it hurt this certain podcaster. And he said he want to quit. This is not the first time that I've seen something like this happen. So, man, yeah, I'm just pretty much putting the word out here and not just talking to podcasters, talking to anybody, man. When it boils down to it, don't let anybody make you quit something that you love because of something you may have said or whatever, and you don't agree completely with them because you're not gonna please everybody. That's all it is to it. It doesn't mean that you don't like that person or whatever, man. You can still love that person, but, man, anybody can be a critic. I mean, you could tell somebody that you don't like the shirt. I mean, the shirt that they're wearing really don't fit them. That color is not your color or whatever. And that person that's receiving that from you, man, if it should not hurt him, he should be able, that person should not be able to hurt him or her. That person should be able to shrug that off and say, hey, I'm me, and have the confidence to be able to absorb things like that and say, hey, maybe I should look at this if it's a good friend or whatever that's telling me that. And I mean, he's a good podcaster who's been coming to this guy's shows for over 10 years, and the guy can't take a little criticism from him, which is awful, man. Straight up. What's up, Ray? Ray is in the house, man. Glad that you came in. Ray said the problem, Harry, is people want to give their opinions and don't want to hear yours. Yep. The minute you say something, it's on. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And that's horrible, man. It really is. I hate it, but that's life, man. That's especially right now. But the wrestling business is like overwhelmed with people getting their feelings hurt so quickly. And I think that's one of the problems that we have as far as in wrestling. It's like you can bring in, let's take the WWE. You can bring in somebody and you can build them up as a star, but as soon as somebody else comes in and they take that spot, or you have, like you say, that person who became a star, the company might think, hey, this guy's just not cutting it. He's not bringing in the crowd, or he's not really getting the pop that we want. And they take him down a notch. He may come from main event status, and he goes into the mid card, and somebody feelings might get hurt because they really have invested. They have invested their feelings and their thoughts into that wrestling. That wrestler has become their favorite wrestler. Maybe they done bought some T-shirts or bought some merchandise that wrestler that goes to that wrestler, and these guys, this wrestler have become their favorite wrestler. They have got a personal interest in that wrestler, and the wrestling company may feel that they are not getting over, and the company is not making the money that they really need to make on this wrestler. So they bring them down and they push somebody else up. And one thing wrestling fans get really upset about that. What's up, Armor Clark? How you doing tonight, Armor? Good to see you. Armor says, what's up, Harry? How you doing this evening? I'm doing okay. Still got this bad toothache. Rest in peace, Frogman LeBlanc. No doubt about that. And prayers for you, Armor. Hopefully you can get something done tomorrow, somewhere soon. Hey, hopefully somebody will come around and take care of that tooth. I mean, I know that is a horrible thing to have a toothache. That is just flipping awful, especially when you're an older adult like us and everything. It's not a good thing to have. So hopefully somebody comes in and takes care of that for you, and you be able to get out and go somewhere and get that taken care of. Give me just a second here, everybody. I want to go and do a couple things here. And I pretty much get this share. And speaking of that, hey, if you're on Facebook, hit that like, share, join. If you're on YouTube, hit the like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, ding, 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 so you know we're on like times like these. And we are on Twitch live right now. So if you're on Twitch, you do the same thing that you do on YouTube. Hey, hit that like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, ding, ding, ding. And whenever you see us on X, guys, formerly known as Twitter, I almost called it Twitter, but anytime you see us over there on X, man, hit that like, share, tweet, and retweet, and follow the Straight Up Wrestling Show over on X, guys, straight up. All right, let me go ahead and share this thing out a little bit to a couple people, man. But yeah, the way they do things now is really kind of crazy. So it's kind of hard for me a little bit sometimes to share this thing out the way I want to. Oh, wait a minute. No. Okay. All right. But all right, I can't get what I want to get, but William Rollins is in the house, man. William Rollins, what's going on, William? How you doing? How you doing, my brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. But once again, all right, let's see. I see Jamie, my man Jamie is in the house. What's going on? Jamie Earnhardt. Everything's going pretty good here, man. Everything's going pretty good here. But yes, like I said, man, look, don't let anybody bully you from your platform, things that you do. If you're a podcaster, you're a wrestler, anything that you're doing out here, man, you got to have the confidence in yourself to move forward. Don't let anybody take you down, man. Don't let anybody take you down because they're upset about your opinion of something. I mean, hey, we're all entitled to our opinion. And a lot of times, opinions, somebody's opinion, I only let opinions strengthen me. If somebody has an opinion or whatever, it may be good or it may not be. It may be something that I take, I take heed to, and sometimes I don't take heed to it. So that's the way you have to look at life. I mean, when somebody's feelings is hurt and their feelings overwhelm they come and talk to you and it hurts you because, it hurts you and make you want to stop what you're doing. And that's what I've seen. And that's what is happening to a friend of ours, a local podcaster. He gets all into his feelings when these people come back on him and, they fuss him down and everything, and then he wants to quit. And man, no, that's what I'm saying. Don't let somebody stop you from doing what you're doing because they are upset. They are upset with something that you said, and they, go out and try to bully you from that platform. Don't let anybody do that. All right, my man Jamie says we're good. That's good, Jamie. And all right, my man William Rollins says doing a lot better. That's good to hear, William, man. That is good to hear. Yeah, brother. So yeah, keep keep moving forward, William. Get more healthy, man. Hey, this year is the year to get better, get healthier every day, man. Every day, just get a little bit better than what you was the day before. So I'm talking to everybody on that. Let's try to be a little bit better than the day we were, the day we were before. So let's do that. As far as our wrestling companies and everything, as far as wrestling out here, we want to see it get better. So, Straight Up Wrestling Show. Chris and myself, like I said, last night we went to a AWL show up in Pickens, South Carolina. The show rocked out straight up. Had over 200 people, between 200 300 people in the crowd, man. It was very exciting. Loved it. And it brought back feelings of what wrestling should be. Straight up. I'm not going to say it was the greatest show in the world, but it was a really good show. And that's what we need to have, man. All right. My girl Alma Clark says, I'm still pissed over what happened yesterday on here. It's one thing to say one thing over a disagreement. Is another when someone crossed the line saying what that person said wrong straight up. Yes, it was. That was wrong. That was wrong. And the guy has sent me his phone number and everything, and he wants to come on and tell his side of the story, but I don't know if I'm going to let him on my platform or not. I don't know if I'm going to put him on Straight Up Wrestling or not. So right now, I'm just like in between. But yeah, that was just very disrespectful. And the guy's claiming to be he's claiming to be a biblical man. And, hey, a Christian man should not be talking like that at all. It's not just a Christian man. Any man or any woman should not be talking like that to anybody. That just don't make no kind of sense. What he came across, that what this guy was saying yesterday, trying to hurt somebody just because they didn't like the opinion of what that podcaster said, and that don't make no kind of sense. But yeah, man. Look, I will say this one thing. I'm gonna say about wrestling. Okay, this past year, I'm talking about 2025. To me, I mean, it was a rough year. It really was. It was hard to watch. It was hard to watch WWE, Raw, SmackDown, and AEW. As much as a lot of people have went to that side because the WWE's product, the presentation of the product and the things that they're doing have gotten pretty bad when it boils down to it. A lot of people have switched over to AEW. Now they're praising AEW like it is the big dog. It is this, it is that. But when it boils down to it, the ratings tell a whole different story. It does. One thing that we have to stop doing as wrestling fans is we have to stop looking at the product of a product and saying a product that's actually decent, and then we look at it, but it don't went way down, and we look at another product that's pretty much was not a good product and people wasn't talking about it, but we bring that product up because the other one that we seeing is awful or whatever, or is getting to the point where it's awful. Because I'm gonna tell you what, AEW was hard to watch too. It some nights really good, but a lot of nights very bad. So to me, the whole wrestling universe, not just AEW, WWE, and I'm gonna start from WWE, AEW, the whole wrestling universe, from everything that I've seen, TNA, NWA, all the way down to the indies, man. I saw a lot of bad wrestling, not just last year, all the way back into 2024, starting in the middle of 2024, all the way up through 2025. And the thing with WWE, what's really gotten them bad, man, is that this, this commercialization type thing, it really took over the wrestling landscape of the WWE in 2025, man. It was horrible. And I don't know where they're gonna go from here on out. And the first show of 2025 is SmackDown. We saw that. We watched that Friday night. We was on live for that. The show was actually pretty good, but it kind of like ruins a lot of things when they run so many commercials during a match. Some of those matches, they ran 3 commercials doing some of those matches, and it don't make no kind of sense. But the show did turn out to be pretty good. And we have the first Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. Now, I did not see if Collision ran. Did Collision run yesterday? I'm not exactly sure. AEW's first show of the year. I don't know if Collision ran or not. But if it did, that's one thing that I want to go back. I want to watch, but I'm going to try to watch as much wrestling this year as possible. Try to get back and see where we're at, and hopefully it's able. I'm hoping that wrestling will rise to the level of what it used to be, or at least rise to the level of what it was when a Straight Up Wrestling show started in 2021. I thought it was very good in my eyes. I thought it was very good, even though a lot of people was hating. And my partner, Christopher Burton, my partners, Christopher Burton and Michael King, who was on the show with us, they couldn't stand Raw. They hated Raw. They thought it was the worst thing ever. But in 2021, I thought Raw was pretty good. We started in June. We June the 20th, 2021, or something like that. But it was middle of June when we started, a little bit late in June when we started. And I thought the product was really good. And that's when Bobby Lashley was the WWE World Champion. You had Charlotte Flair. She was the WWE Women's Champion. And that was on the Raw brand. And, man, I thought the product was really good. I was really impressed because I never was a fan of the WWF. I never was. And so I hadn't watched wrestling in a long time, at least not, I was a casual fan. I would turn on wrestling every now and then to see it, see WWE and see TNA, because like I, straight up, man, like I done said before, I stopped watching once WCW went down, even though WCW for the last couple of years that they was around, man, it was horrible. It was an awful product. It really was. But I stopped watching it because it's not just those fantastic years that Eric Bischoff had with WCW from 96 to 99 or whatever their peak years. That's not the reason that I stopped watching the WCW product. I didn't watch really a lot the last couple years because I remember what WCW was before Eric Bischoff, Jim Herd, and Bill Watts and all those guys got a hold of it when Jim Crockett had it. And I take that all the way back to the Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling days. And I'm going to throw Georgia Championship Wrestling in there too, because it was part of it. It was all in that mix, and Florida Championship Wrestling too. So it was all in that mix. So when that went down, my childhood went down with it. And what I saw as far as wrestling, that all that died with that. So that was an awful time for me, man. And I'm just like, wow, I don't even want to watch wrestling anymore. And I'm going to talk about who made wrestling cool, straight up, man. So I might even do that in a different podcast, but I'll talk about a little bit of it right now. All right. My girl says, Alma Clark says, Collision was definitely, was indeed on last night. She said it was all right. Okay. I appreciate that. I'm going to try to check that out probably tomorrow morning. I'm not going to do it tonight, but I'll try to check it out tomorrow. I do have a few things that I need to do, but I'm going to try to check that out and come on and do a review show of that. Like I said, I'm going to be doing as much wrestling as I can this year, doing podcasts, doing independent wrestling shows, doing as much wrestling as I can, and trying to book shows too. So I'm going to do as much wrestling, as far as wrestling goes, I'm going to do as much as I can this year, man. So to me, it's pretty important, and I want to be part of the solution of making wrestling better than trying to make it worse and just dogging it out all the time. But man, what we got to be on this show, we got to be straight up like we always been, and give it to you like we see it. But hopefully everything that we see this year, man, everything that we see this year is going to be good. And I think right now, the WWE, they showed me the other night, they was on their game, but it still was a mid-level show. It was okay. And like Alma said, and I believe her, I trust your judgment that AEW Dynamite, not AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision was okay. Now I will be checking out AEW Collision straight up. But man, wow. Yeah, because, man, I know a lot of us, especially, the ones my age, Alma Clark's age, Ray's age, and, people that come on here, Mag, and a lot more, we come on here. We want to see what we saw from back in the day. We do. We want to see that type of wrestling. And you know, I miss so many people, and I know you do too, Alma Clark. And you came up in an area. You came up in Dallas. I mean, in the Dallas. I ain't gonna say Dallas, but Texas wrestling with world class championship wrestling, and I'm sure you saw a lot more. There was a lot of great wrestling in the Texas area, so you saw a lot, and you know a lot about wrestling from Georgia Championship Wrestling, Mid Atlantic, which became WCW. You know a lot about those legends too. So you saw a lot more wrestling from wrestlers that came into Texas that went through the Carolinas or went through, the Carolinas and Virginia, went through Georgia, went through, the Tennessee territories and things like that, went through Louisiana. So you saw a lot of greats too. So that's one thing that we all want to see. We want to all see that wrestling wrestling gets back to that level, which was outstanding. And that's the reason why we loved it. We love wrestling, and we still love it, is because of what happened in the past, and a lot of that legacy of that. Chaz, what do you want? Hold on for a second, everybody.
The internet is unplugged.
It is. Hold on, everybody. No, it's not, Chaz. No, it's not. All right, but yeah, still here. Let me check it out. Alma Clark said last year, I've never seen so many botch moves from men and women wrestlers in the major organizations. Exactly. Too much commercial advertising. That takes away from giving the time to storylines. Yes, you're exactly right. Alma, you're exactly right. No ends, ands, or buts about that. All right, Wrestling Forever is in the house. What's going on, Wrestling Forever? Any standouts from last night's ALW show? Look, I'm gonna try. I'm hoping that Chris is with me tomorrow. Let's see. I know. I'm sure he works, but Chris unfortunately had to go and check on his brother today. We were supposed to do a show on that. We were supposed to do a whole show on the ALW show, but hopefully we get to do that tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure because I got a lot of things to do. If not, we'll do a whole show on it Tuesday. But Wrestling Forever, I will tell you that Dusty Money, to me, Dusty Money was the premier performer from last night. He was in a 6-man tag team match. He was teaming up. Dusty Money is part of the Moonshine Express, and they teamed with Black Cat Johnson, which he basically is going by Dion Johnson now. They teamed up together, and they took on Chris Vallo, who was Chris Vallo. They took on, let me see, man, wait, goodness sake, I'm trying to think of everybody who they took on, who they wrestled against. Let's see, Chris Vallo. Let's just say Chris Vallo's crew. Okay, right now I don't have the thing in front of me because a lot of these wrestlers came from Florida. So, hey, they didn't come from my area. They came from Florida, and it's the first time that I've seen some of those guys. But so it was Chris Vallo. I know it's Curtis Robinson and one other guy. I can't think of his name right now, but he was pretty good. This guy was pretty good. And Dusty Money, man, that's Jay Eagle's son. Jay Eagle, the legendary wrestling chief that was trained by Chief Wahoo McDaniel. That's his son. And I tell you, his son, Dusty Money, is just, man, Dusty is just incredible. I mean, he's an incredible performer. And the more I see him, the more I look at him as about the best, almost the number one guy that I've seen on the indies in the 4.5 years of the Straight Up Wrestling show. There's a guy named Curtis Coleman. It's between those two, but Dusty Money is just incredible. Now, there's a lot of other great performers out here like Nick Fury. Let's see, Chase Emery, Zuka King. Those guys are top-notch, top-level guys. Let's see, Zuka King does a lot of work on NWA. He works with NWA a good bit. But, Chase Emery done been on AEW, and he almost was on WWE, but he had caught COVID. But these guys, man, are great competitors. But I tell you what, that guy, Dusty Money, man, Dusty is on another level. And I don't know if Dusty actually knows he's really that good. I talked to him last night, and I was just telling him, man, look, man, you are just, man, you're something. I just wish he would have a little bit earlier in his career. He would have had his head on a little straighter than what it was, because he ran into some problems and things like that. that pretty much kept him back, man. But that kid is incredible. I mean, I ain't gonna call him a kid. He's a grown man and been around for a while. But man, yeah, to me, he's a kid. Yeah, the guy has something special. But yeah, to me, he was the standout performer. Brian Maddox did a great job in the Rumble last night. Man, he just strong, man, just throwing people around like crazy. Didn't win it. A guy named Don Furio won it. Don Furio was in a mask. I forgot what he was calling himself, El Magnifico. But Don Fury actually won the Rumble last night, and it turned out to be pretty good, the 20-man Rumble. So he was a standout. We had a guy called himself St. Julius, came from Florida. He was very athletic, very strong, beat Buggy Wright last night, and that was a very good match. But it was a lot of good matches from that AWL show. But Chris and I, we will do that thing completely and tell everybody about how it went down. But it was a really good show. All right. So, but man, yeah, going back, like I say, I've been watching wrestling since the early 70s, guys. Early 70s, man, that's a long time ago. Okay. When I was, I was just a little kid. So got really serious about it when I hit like 8 years old, 7, 8 years old. That was like in 1975. From 1975 all the way up until I stopped watching it in around 2000, man, I was the most serious wrestling fan that you can find. Knew everything about it, knew all the champions in every company, not just the Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling area or NWA World Champion, who was, when I first started watching wrestling, the NWA World Champion was Dory Funk. Dory Funk, and then it became Jack Briscoe, and then it became Terry Funk. But Jack Briscoe was the champion in 1975 when I started taking it really serious and really start focusing on it. We had Jack Briscoe, who was the NWA World Champion. We had the AWA World Champion was Vern Gagne, and the WWF World Champion was Bruno Sammartino. Now, I used to read a lot of wrestling magazines and get a lot of tapes and things like that. Nancy is in the building. What's going on, Nancy? How you doing? But yeah, so man, I got to read about and saw a lot of wrestlers around the world, man. I was on to New Japan Pro Wrestling, Antonio Inoki's promotion out in Japan, all Japan Wrestling, Giant Baba. I was a big fan of that too, all the way back, in my years before I even became a teenager, back in the mid 70s. Man, was really loving all that and finding out about it, and did everything I could to get a hold of any tapes or anything to see what was going on. And hey, at home here in the Carolinas, man, I was watching Chief Wahoo McDaniel. I was watching the Anderson brothers. I was watching the Great Mephisto. I was watching Dean Malenko's dad, Boris Malenko. Let's see, number one, Paul Jones. So Sonny King, all those guys were just heroes in the Carolinas, and they was doing their thing, man, straight up. Jim Crockett just had a great wrestling promotion. And then like in 1976, here come, which in 75, we had Nature Boy Ric Flair. We had Tiger Conway Jr. There was a lot more, Rip Hawk. Those guys, Blackjack Mulligan, Swede Hansen. Those guys was great, man, back in 75. In 1976, we added Ricky Steamboat in, and him and Ricky Steamboat. That's when Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair started clashing, and they had the best matches. And I know a lot of people will look at what they did in 1989, that trilogy that they did in 89. That's what everybody is getting to see. But, I got to see, I had the privilege of going to the Greenville Memorial Auditorium and seeing those guys live when they was on, both of them was like 20, Ric Flair was 25 years old, 25, 26, and Ricky Steamboat was like 23 years old. And those guys, I got to see those guys at the top of their level, at their athletic prowess, man, at their top speed. Those guys were just, and Ric Flair was a high flyer, man. A lot of people don't believe that, but it just dude will fly out. He will fly over the ring. He will come and hit you with an elbow splash, man, and get like, he would be like, he had like a 38, 40-inch vertical, man. He would get up there high, come down with those elbow splashes, throw you to the ropes, hit you with an elbow splash. Ric Flair could do a lot of high flying things. He was very athletic, man, and it was incredible to see. And Ricky Steamboat, Ricky Steamboat was just amazing. He was amazing at that time, man. He just, threw that little martial arts background into it, and he just basically did his thing. And man, it just was incredible wrestling. But you had a lot more people that came in at that time in 1976. You had people like Charlie Fulton. You had, Guido Mongo. You had the Mongos in there. You had Dino Bravo. People like that. They were just, Ken Patera had came into the area, and he was the strong man. And Tony Atlas came in, and both of those guys was competing to see who was the strongest. Tony Atlas was just starting to really work out, but I mean, he was really, really muscular, really getting into himself. He was a young guy, but Ken Patera, hey, he was the guy who won the 1972 Olympics, lifting, deadlift and pretty much clean and jerk 500 pounds over his head. He was just strong, and those guys will rip up these the old big thick telephone books. They used to rip those things up on TV and everything, man, showing their strength. And they used to have weightlifting competitions and things like that on TV, which was incredible, man. But 76 was a good year. And said 1977, we got cable. Everybody was getting, it wasn't a lot of people getting cable, but we got cable in 77 at my house. And I was able to see Georgia Championship Wrestling on a Superstation. And that was incredible, man. So, that's when I got introduced to Tommy Wildfire Rich. Tony Atlas had went up there at that time. I got introduced to Mr. Wrestling 2. Already knew Mr. Wrestling 1. He had went up there. Mr. Wrestling 1 was Tim Woods. He was in the Mid-Atlantic area, which I didn't mention in 75 and 76. But Mr. Wrestling Tim Woods went up to Georgia Championship Wrestling and teamed up once again with Mr. Wrestling 2, man. And they was a great tag team. But you had them, you had Tony Atlas, you had Tony Atlas, you had Tommy Wildfire Rich, you had Mass Superstar, you had Abdullah the Butcher, who was feuding with Tommy Rich, and that's what brought Tommy Rich into everybody's focus, because Tommy Rich was trying week in and week out to beat Abdullah the Butcher, and nobody could stop my man Abdullah the Butcher. But Tommy Rich, when he won that, then boom, man, this guy became famous, man. Famous. What's up, Eric Thunder? Go to sleep. Nah, that ain't happening, man. That ain't happening. Not right now. Not right now. But yeah, I will be doing that in a little while. But yeah, I had to get on, man. I had to get on. But yeah, every day, man, I'm doing this podcast thing every day, brother. Besides other things that I'm gonna be doing here in the wrestling business. But are you wrestling Saturday? I guess you'll be wrestling down in Eastern Saturday. Plan on coming down to Eastern Saturday. Chris and myself, we was at AWL, the show in Pickens, South Carolina yesterday. That was a pretty good show, Eric. That definitely was a really good show, to tell you the truth. But yeah, I plan on coming down Saturday. Hopefully Chris is off. If Chris is off, I'm bringing Chris down there too. Eric says, you talk about the same thing all the time. This is the 5th time I've heard this. Yeah, man, whatever. This ain't I don't talk about the same thing, man. I'm one of the most diverse people that's ever. I talk about a lot of different things. Right now, I'm just throwing out anything because I really didn't put out I'm not really putting, all I did was just saying live to talk about wrestling. What I started talking about was Scott Larson getting threatened by a promotion. So I started off talking about that. Don't let somebody bully you off of your platform. So I started talking about that first, and I just moved into this. So yeah, I don't talk, I do repeat certain things about, what I've come up with and watch wrestling. So yeah, of course I repeat certain things because there's different people that come in here and things like that who's never heard that or heard my background. So of course I do, man. So get on with that, Eric. It's just like, say, if I interview you again, yeah, I'm going to ask you some of the same old questions. When you get in the ring, don't you do some of the same old moves that you do before? I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, this is the same doggone move you've been doing before, man. These are the same. You finished that match off the same way you done the last match. Or the last 10 matches I done seen you do. You had that same finisher. So what? So I'm just coming back at you, brother. Straight up. But yeah, man. But yeah. So wrestling. I mean, we want to see the best. We want to see the best thing going today, man. As far as wrestling, it's not about the past, but you got to acknowledge the past. Hopefully everybody acknowledge the past. Keep that. Keep that energy that we had in the past and bring that to the future, man. Bring that to the present. Bring that to the present, and let's have something great. Because I'm telling you what, each and every one of us that are wrestling fans out here, we watch wrestling for a certain reason, and there was greats in the past. Most of us that's watching it, there was somebody that was great in the past that is keeping you watching it right now. I mean, what is my reason for watching wrestling right now? And hey, my reason is because, hey, man, I love Ric Flair. I love Ricky Steamboat. Those guys was my inspiration to continue to watch wrestling. Tony Atlas. I love those guys. I love the Road Warriors. I love Rick and Scott Steiner. I love the Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express too, to a certain point. Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant. The things that those guys brought to the table is the reason that I'm watching. A lot of you are watching because you loved Hulk Hogan. A lot of you are watching because you loved Randy Macho Man Savage. A lot of you are watching because you love The Undertaker. A lot of you are watching because you love Sting. A lot of you are watching because you love The Rock. A lot of you are watching because you love Stunning Steve Austin. A lot of you watching because you love Bret Hart. A lot of you are watching because you love John Cena. So there was somebody in the past that today you drawing from the past. They are keeping you as a wrestling fan. They are straight up. So, we have to acknowledge that. But yeah, we do. We want wrestling to be king, man. And we want everybody to love it, man. Just like The Rock had to come back and say, hey, he made wrestling cool again. But man, the wrestlers that are active, not part-time or whatever, it's up to those guys to make wrestling cool again. It's up to those guys to draw in the casual wrestling fan. It's up to those guys to draw in the general public to watch wrestling. We can't rely on, hey, The Rock, hey, maybe he's going to come back. Brock Lesnar going to come back. We're going to bring back AJ Lee or somebody like, people like that. We have to have them to come in to bring wrestling back to the platform that it needs to be on, that it used to be on, that the proper place that it should be on, straight up. And the same thing on the indie wrestling scene. Anybody that's out here in the indies, it does not matter if it's SWA down in Georgia, doesn't matter if it's CMW, hey, here in Greenville, doesn't matter if it's 3 Count Pro Wrestling in Greenville, doesn't matter if it's Turbo Pro Wrestling, doesn't matter if it's EPW up in Boiling Springs, doesn't matter if it's AWL out in Pickens, South Carolina, doesn't matter that, if it's HWA out in Rutherford, North Carolina, or whatever. You have to build the local star. You have to build a local star to be able to maintain a good audience, maintain a good crowd. And your local stars, man, is the ones who have to do it. But the bottom line is up to that booker, man. That booker has to be able to do his job, and that promoter has to be behind him 100%. The promotion has to be able to push these guys and push their shows. And one thing I will say about Eric Thunder, like I said, I had said this about you yesterday, I think, the day before when I did something about promotion. And this guy right here, Eric Thunder, he'll go out and he'll plaster posters everywhere, man. He's great at doing that. He's great at promoting. And a lot of wrestlers, hey, they don't even want to do a promo, cut a promo for their upcoming shows. And it's kind of sad. It really is. But hey, that's not shocking. Not at all. Not at all. But guys, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do what Eric said, man. Like I said, I didn't even plan on staying on this long, but I stayed on longer than what I thought I was going to stay on. But I appreciate everybody coming in and rocking with the Straight Up Wrestling Show. And before you leave, man, if you haven't hit that like, share, join, over on Facebook. Go ahead and do that right now. If you haven't hit that like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, ding, 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 here on YouTube and over on Twitch. You do that right now. Do it right now, man. And if you haven't done it over there and you over on you catch us over on X, which we're not live right now, but anytime you catch us on X, man, hey, hit that like, share, tweet, and retweet, and follow the Straight Up Wrestling Show. I'm HBT, man, and we are out of here. Stay straight up. Peace.